What's going on, everybody? Champ is back with another video. I am watching a video. I am 30 seconds in, and I just watched the intro to this video, and I have to react to it. This is when corrupt cops realize that they're done for. And if it is exactly what I think it is, oh boy, are we in for a treat. This
is Sergeant Jennifer Larson and Lieutenant Donald Milazzo, both police officers that had served for over 20 years, being deposed for the illegal apprehension and arrest of a woman named Samantha, aka Pink Camera Magic, on YouTube, who had been recording at the Cook County Courthouse building from outside.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, okay. So my guess right off the bat is that these cops are stupid. So let's see what's going on.
Hey, ma'am, you know this is a public building?
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility.
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in.
No, there
We're
isn't.
gonna check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh yeah, no. We're gonna run you too.
No, that's all
We're gonna
right.
get your name. We're gonna do a report and everything. So come on in.
This cop's being an asshole.
Yeah, you're gonna come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to...
It's public property. You're being suspicious. What the fuck does that mean? That's not a reason to arrest somebody. Oh boy. What? This is gonna be painful, isn't it?
Detain anybody.
Well, it is for dinner. Come on.
It's really not.
Let's go
So
inside
I'm just going
now.
to stay here and continue recording.
Okay. You're gonna come in and we're gonna find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs?
This
She
cop
does
doesn't
not
even
want to
have
go and clean.
handcuffs.
The interaction begins with Lieutenant Milazzo approaching Samantha and stating that she can't record in a public building, and that is enough reason for him to detain her as she didn't provide her ID.
This can't be a cop. Doesn't know the law. That's what this is. Doesn't know the law, obviously. This can't be a cop. This has to be like a couch potato, as they like to say, in cop clothes.
But what Milazzo doesn't know is that what he's doing is actually illegal, as it is completely legal to take photographs or film public places in all states unless oral conversations are recorded, which is not the case here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious, and we need to know who you are and why you're doing it.
What?
Okay?
Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
Yes. I am.
Really?
Let's go in. Come on.
Yo! They just snatched that shit.
You are aware of Homeland Security, right?
After noticing multiple times that he was being recorded, Milazzo finally decided to aggressively grab Samantha's camera with which she was recording him, to later detain her and take her inside.
What the fuck?
Lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Yeah.
Well, it's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazy?
I don't know.
That
Why would you say that on body cam?
second person in the scene, the one wearing the body cam, is Sergeant Jennifer Larson, and what she and Lieutenant Milazzo don't seem to realize is that what they are doing is absolutely outside the boundaries of the law,
Well, no fucking shit.
and that Samantha knows that. Denying yet again showing her ID, Samantha notices that Lieutenant Milazzo is doing something shady with her camera.
Did you delete my footage?
Do you want to cooperate or not?
You can't do that.
It is only making it worse. Do you want to give us an ID?
Remain silent. Don't consent to searches.
We're not going to search you. We're asking you for an ID.
If this wasn't enough, the officers then mockingly laugh at her after she invokes her right to remain silent.
Why doesn't she just not answer? Like, this is like a bully situation, pretty much.
What the fuck is going on today?
I don't know.
Every crazy loon in the building is coming.
You can't... Dude, I know from the intro that these two idiots get sued, and I didn't see any of that stuff. Okay. Why would you do that? You can't. Your sergeant looks at all this shit. How did these guys get away with it?
They were asking for an ID.
This is obviously not the first time they're talking this
I'm
way.
going to confiscate the camera, and we're going to take it downstairs
For what
and
crime?
print you.
Hey, you
Because
can't
you're
do that.
suspicious.
Remaining silent.
Seeing no cooperation on her side, the officers then decide to give Samantha an ultimatum
Yeah, they're gonna start
in
bullying
an
her.
attempt to finally settle the situation.
Okay, this is your choice. You can either give us an ID so that we can do a report on this and find out who you are, or we're going to take you in front of the presiding judge. He's going to hold you in contempt, which means that he can hold you for as long as he wants.
Remaining silent.
Okay, let's do it.
10 minutes went by, and then Lieutenant
What?
Milazzo finally came back with news, or better called threats, against Samantha, who, as everyone should do, just remained in silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to probably take you in front of the judge.
Okay.
What judge? Oh, I understand that this is a courthouse and all that other stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a judge just sitting there. Like, they don't just, like, sit at the podium and just wait for, like, it's scheduled shit. So, okay, they're gonna take her in front of a judge. Okay. So, I'm assuming, yeah, this is broad daylight, right? Yeah, okay, so I guess judges are gonna be there. Okay. Take her in front of the judge. What next?
He's going to hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
Hold her in contempt of what? She's not in a courtroom. She's not in a courtroom in front of the judge. The judge, and not to mention, the judge is the thing that can say that, not a police officer. Yeah, those are just threats, dude. If you don't know, like, the law or, like, kind of like how courts work, this would be enough to, like, intimidate you, because those, I think that's what they're trying to say, or what they're trying to do. Just, if you hear an officer say, I'm going to hold you in contempt, if you don't know what the fuck's going on, they're going to probably assume that you mean they're going to arrest it. Okay. That's what has to happen here, because officers can't hold somebody in contempt. Like, the judge orders that, not police officers.
Okay.
What is happening?
Is that okay with you?
Remaining silent.
Okay, but you realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days.
No, she's not.
Remaining silent.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
I have an option.
Yeah.
We told you that before.
Because right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt.
Obstructing what?
You're obstructing us from doing our job.
Remaining silent.
You're obstructing yourselves. Nothing happened.
All right, cuff her. Let's get her purse.
Ken.
Get her stuff.
I don't consent to searches.
Well, we don't care anymore. Okay?
Samantha was finally handcuffed and arrested for obstruction to later be freed without any charges. But what the officers are unaware of is that not only did they commit an illegal act, but multiple: unlawful
Wow.
detainment, intimidation, illegal arrest, dereliction of duty, unlawful search and destruction of private property. Shortly after, Samantha was
What a bunch of bullies. Like, I'm not like a law student or anything, okay? I basically just like look into law like here or there. Like, I'm always curious, like, what would happen in this situation? I have a friend who's a police officer. I ask him questions like that all the time. He loves that stuff, you know what I mean? But even I'm just like, how can you hold me in contempt? Like, you're a police officer. How is me being on a public property being suspicious? How is being suspicious enough for you to arrest me? I can, dude, you can't arrest somebody because they look shady. Like,
able to hire one of the best lawyers in the country and sued Cook County for multiple civil rights violations. The case has been going on for a few years now, and the
why? This should be an open and shut case. These guys are assholes.
Conclusion is not yet known, but a part of all of this that we have is the following footage of both the deposition of Lieutenant Milazzo and Sergeant Jennifer Larson, what unfolded in the following never-before-seen
Okay. I gotta turn this up a tad because I want to see this and hear this perfectly clear and loudly. Not too loudly. Otherwise, we don't want that.
footage is one of the biggest and most shocking proofs of ignorance of the law and ineptitude in police history.
Is it against the law to take pictures of a courthouse from outside?
No. We learned that
Not
earlier.
that I know.
Okay. Is it lawful to arrest somebody for taking pictures outside of the courthouse?
No.
No, not that I know.
Okay. Is there something
Keep your voice up, please.
Okay, sorry.
So I gotta get every word if it's on video.
Okay.
are you
That was the court reporter telling her to speak the fuck up and stop mumbling. Voice recognition software doesn't do that. Still a pet peeve. Go back to my previous rant video, or one of the previous ones about court reporters, okay? Hate that shit.
familiar with this case at all?
Which case?
The case that
The
brings us
one
here
that we're
today,
on.
you're testifying in.
Yes.
Okay, and in a nutshell, what's the case about?
Well, there was this girl. She was like suspicious, so we just put her in cuffs, and I think that she kept saying that like I'm gonna remain silent, but I don't know if that's like a right, the right to remain silent. In fact, I don't even know what those rights are called.
I would say that Amanda is, I guess I called you to say that she was outside videoing when she shouldn't have been. So she's saying we violated her amendment rights.
You're correct.
Well, you got that part right.
When you say when she shouldn't have been, what does that mean? Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual, what us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay.
Having shown zero knowledge of the law, Samantha's lawyer then decides to push Sergeant Jennifer further to try to make her slip even more.
Dude, tear her ass apart.
Depending on where you are in
Pause.
the country, Mormons are unusual, right? Depending on where you are. Might
Yeah,
be
would you
unusual
just
to see a
randomly
Mormon.
arrest a Mormon just because you
Do you get to
you
detain
think they're
Mormons in
weird?
those places?
Just arrest them?
I don't know if people detain Mormons.
You're gonna have to speak.
I don't know if they detain Mormons.
Would it be lawful
Speak the fuck up.
just because it's unusual?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there something unlawful about recording outside of a building?
No.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Let me ask you this. Was Miss doing anything illegal when she was detained?
This should be a yes or no question right off the bat. This shouldn't be... I'm not really sure. You can't make this shit up.
No, I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
Talking about unusual things, the statement that follows is something a police officer should never even be allowed to say.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
In order to detain somebody... Well, let me answer that question. I'm not a police officer or anything, so let's see if a civilian, me, your typical normal dude, drinking out of a goddamn Buffalo Bills water bottle from the fucking 1988s, see if he can answer that question. What was the question again?
I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
Talking about unusual things to say.
In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
Probable cause, definitely. Probable cause is the minimum. I'm gonna go with probable cause.
I do not know the law legally.
And if you still
My eye is itching. Hold on a second. Okay. This is what, a lieutenant and what is it? The other deputy or sheriff or something. They are police officers. I don't know the law. Why is it not playing?
think that at least Lieutenant Milazzo knew what he was doing, well, you're wrong.
What would you do if one of those people said to you, what's the difference between arrest and detain? What would your answer be?
Well, if you're arrested, you're under arrest. We know that. Being detained is just... It's the same damn thing, pretty much. It's the same damn thing. Yeah, because if you're detained, it doesn't matter because... Yeah, it's the same damn thing. It's the same thing. I thought at first, like, I thought the word, like, being detained was more like if you're in an interrogation room with a detective, that's detained, and being arrested is with a cop. It's like, no, it's the same thing.
We'd call legal.
Mr. Gorman, seated to your left.
It's the same thing.
Sheriff has their own legal.
No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Their own legal who helps them understand things like the difference between arrest and detain.
Yes.
This lawyer is just laughing at him.
Gotcha.
If you're this dude's lawyer right here, what the fuck are you thinking about? Because you have to defend these two bumbling idiots. You've got to be sitting there thinking, oh my god. Oh boy. This should be an open and shut case. How the fuck they're still investigating this is beyond me. It has to be, like, court-related issues or something like that.
Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer safety.
Here, Lieutenant Milazzo has just confirmed not to know the difference between an arrest and a detainment, an occasion in which, if they need help, he indicates they just go ahead and call the office's lawyer to help them. The question remains then, how can someone work 27 years as a police officer and not know the law?
Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree
Didn't
on
answer the
that
question.
you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her.
Yeah.
Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
Officer safety.
For the security of the officers, yes.
Okay. What made her a threat?
Yeah.
Her refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
When an officer has asked her for security
No,
purposes
they don't have
to give.
They don't have to necessarily. I remember years ago. This was back when I was like in middle school, and my brother was, or no, I was in high school, but I was like a freshman or a sophomore or something like that. My older brother and his girlfriend at the time, they went to Walmart. Why Walmart? I don't fucking know, because all their CDs are fucking censored. But they went to fucking Walmart, and then they bought a CD, and because that's how you listen to music back then, believe it or not. And they were just in the parking lot with listening to CDs, and then the police officer just tapped on their window and said, "I need to see ID," and Brian's like, "No," and eventually the officer just stopped talking to him, I guess. I guess they just looked suspicious or something. I don't know. But not necessarily have to give something up. They were just listening to music.
Her identity up, yes, we do have the right to ask for an identity of somebody for our safety.
20 years of service, and Sergeant Larson believes that she's not safe unless she runs your name. Not the kind of cop I would like to encounter.
That's so stupid.
If I'm being pulled over.
Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
I have.
Okay, what is that?
Isn't that just the official word for a frisk? I think that's what it is.
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay.
Seeing how
Twice she admitted it. Oh my god, this can't be real. But it is real. That's the sad part.
she has no clue of anything related to law, Samantha's lawyer then decides to make up a hypothetical scenario to further prove his point on how wrong the arrest.
This lawyer has got to be having the most fun in his entire life. This is you as the quarterback, and your team is about to win the Super Bowl 56-3. This is what this is. Give me this hypothetical, please.
A police officer goes over to somebody on the street. Let's call the person Mr. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Police officer goes to Mr. Plaintiff and says, hey, let me see your ID. Okay. And Mr. Plaintiff says, no. Is the officer now allowed to put Mr. Plaintiff in handcuffs and detain him?
No.
I object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
I just talked about him too. That was their lawyer. That was their lawyer. It sounds like he's like this. Holy shit. I am representing these two idiots that don't even know the law after years and decades of service. Okay. He's like, okay, I'm gonna lose this case, obviously, by a fucking landslide. Objection, whatever the fuck this guy just said, and can I at least get this W, because oh my god, I'm gonna go home and shoot myself after this case. Like, that's what's happening here. Calls for speculation. Objection, calls for speculation. Listen to this idiot. Oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
I object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
go
do
ahead,
believe, yes, for
answer.
officer safety, they do have the right.
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
At least
Third
we saw
time
so
she says
far
that.
How Jennifer takes responsibility and accepts that she doesn't know the law.
Yeah, I don't know if you can say that's a plus, though. At least she admits that she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. This guy just looks like a dickhead.
Big contrast to her lieutenant, who instead pretends not to understand any of the questions the lawyer asks and makes fun of the situation.
Well, that's not him being stupid, that's just him being a fucking smartass, because he probably literally thinks that, hey, I'm a fucking police officer, and that means that I can just get away with this. That's what Jalen Fleer thought, too. Look him up after this video.
If you could go back in time to the day that you arrested her, would you still arrest her?
So you're asking me if I can go back in time?
Yeah.
Shut up, smartass. You knew what the fuck he was asking.
Don't know how I could do that.
What a
Did you
smartass.
understand my question?
I did, and you're asking me to suppose whether or not I can go back in time.
No, dumbass. He's asking if you could do it again, would you arrest her again? You knew what the fuck he was asking. Shut the fuck up.
I can't.
So you can't tell me if you would still arrest her?
I can't tell you what would happen on that day if I went back in time, no.
Okay. Are you,
Okay,
is this an attempt to be funny?
No, this is an attempt for him to be a smartass because he thinks this is all just gonna blow over.
Not a bit.
Are you trying to answer my questions?
I'm trying to answer your question.
You really
you're not.
can't figure this out because you can't wrap your head around time travel.
I'm
That's what you're saying?
object. Again, I mean, I'm going to object. It's getting to be harassing again. I mean, is this what the question is? Hypothetical time travel backwards?
Is that really how you...
Can I get this W at least? I mean, can we at least have like some sort of thing to argue about? I mean, you're talking about time travel. I mean, it kind of makes you look kind of stupid too. I mean, do you agree with me, officer?
You interpreted the question also?
Is that what you're asking? If he could go back in time, would he do it differently? Is that not what you're asking?
Yeah, that is what I asked him.
Going back to Sergeant Jennifer, the interrogation continues and her responses don't get any better as time goes on.
Is there any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if...
Dude, I'm starting to think that the words that the lawyers are saying are too big for her to understand. Like, probable cause. I don't know what that is.
If you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, because you don't know what they're doing.
A reasonable response to ask what she was doing?
Right. Agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. We have the right to detain her even if she doesn't even ask fast enough. We have the right to detain her if she's thinking about something. If she's going like... See right there? She's not saying anything. She's just thinking and she's looking like in this direction. That's suspicious to me. I'm going to arrest her. That's not how this works. Oh my God.
Who told you this?
Who told
that you
this?
get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked?
Who told you that shit?
That is the face of someone getting caught, being held accountable, and humiliated for their illicit actions. Despite always refusing to admit that she had done wrong, everything was captured on camera, and the answer is clear as water at this point. But this is not over, as in complete opposite to Sergeant Larson, Lieutenant Milazzo wasn't going to go down without a fight.
Are you familiar?
Well, this guy's a fucking dickhead, that's why. It's all gonna blow over. I'm in authority here. Dude, just like how you completely mutilated the female and just proved how stupid she is, prove how arrogant and fucking retarded this guy is. Please. Please, please, please.
Familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
No illegal search and seizure.
Right, unless there's...
Probable cause.
Or...
That's about all I know.
Okay, all right, good enough. You said that's about all I know. All right,
He said that's about all I know.
now, there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you.
Voice recognition software! Say that again.
That's about all I know.
Okay, all right, good enough. You said that's about all I know. All right, now, there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment, who's in this room right now. Do you know who that person was?
If you don't know the answer to this question, you are absolutely stupid. And it looks like he doesn't. There's somebody else that asked you that question. Do you know who it is? Because they're in the courtroom. Do you know who it is? And he's... I don't know if he's looking at her or he might be looking around. Does he know the answer to this question? He should.
My client.
No, he doesn't.
She asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
Lieutenant Milazzo admits not to recall neither the location in which this happened nor who actually asked him, when in reality, all of us know that it was Samantha and he's just playing dumb, and everything was recorded as we saw before.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Yeah, that's...
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
If he deleted shit, that's tampering with
After
evidence.
recalling the incident, the lawyer brings up his offensive comment towards Samantha at the time.
If I tell you
why
that your
did you
answer
say
was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies? Would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
Why is it that you felt she was one of the crazies?
Because she knows the law, and she's pissing me off because I'm trying to bully her and it's not working.
Well, when people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
She's filming a building! Oh, and I'm also exercising my rights that I have because they're my rights. I have the rights to do these things. And you also don't like that either.
How is she acting that was not in her best interest?
Well, at any time, all she had to do was identify herself. We could have done our report.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have to do that either. You don't have to do that either.
You have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
And everything could have gone the own.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Well, this guy in particular, no, because he's a police officer and he's above the law and this, that, and the other thing. Basically, the stereotypical cop, this is the stereotypical cop that everyone thinks all cops are today. It's not going to bother you. It's going to bother somebody who is easily intimidated by a fucking police officer, which is basically anybody in the fucking world. That's why you're doing it.
Yes.
I'll object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
You
Calls for speculation again.
was able to answer.
Yeah, he was able to
would.
answer.
So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or 90 days jail, if you don't comply with their unlawful demands, you would still comply?
Yes.
Alrighty. Is that what you expected her to do? To comply?
Because that's what he wanted her to do.
Having heard multiple times the need for a person to identify himself when requested by a police officer, the lawyer then decides to question Lieutenant Milazzo further in the topic.
Is there a law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
I don't know.
And when asked if he had deleted the files from his camera, he blatantly denies it, despite it all having been recorded by the body cam the sergeant had at the moment.
Oh my
Did you
God.
delete her pictures?
He's gonna say no.
Who did?
Yeah.
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera
Yes.
away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so you just admitted that she didn't delete it because you had the camera the whole time.
So you had it the entire time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
I don't know the answer to that question because I wasn't there.
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete them.
He asked.
Judges can't do that. So you're telling me that a judge asked him for the camera so he could just delete evidence? That's
For the memory thing so he could delete them. Not only did Milazzo prove the lawyer's point of the pictures being deleted, but he also had just involved a judge in the same illicit act he's being accused for.
Why would you do that? The judge can literally do that and be like, yeah, that's a crime. That's something against I don't really know if that is a crime or not, but if it was, all it takes is for that judge to be like, just show them the videotape and like, yeah, let's add more fucking shit to his sentence. What an arrogant prick, seriously.
You just said that he asked you for the memory card because he wanted to delete the pictures. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay? And if he were to testify at some point in time that he absolutely, categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of you...
Yeah, because then you just prove that he was lying. So it's like, oh, wait, no, the judge didn't delete them. The janitor did. Yeah, the janitor was cleaning the evidence room, the evidence locker there, and must have found it and deleted it, because I wasn't in the building at the time. I went home, you know, because I'm so important. I went home to my mansion, so...
Your people did?
I'm gonna object. Calls for speculation.
You're not gonna win that. You're not gonna win that objection, lawyer. You're not gonna win that objection, lawyer.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Yeah. So if you didn't delete it, then who did? I don't know. Just happened. I don't know.
Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
It's very, 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 very illegal for you to delete those pictures. It's called tampering with evidence.
I don't know.
But what do you think? Are you allowed to go over to people's pictures and delete them?
No.
Without a court order?
No.
Right. That would be a violation of which amendment? Do you know?
No.
If up until now he had been able to resist when questioned about his unlawful actions against Samantha when she requested a lawyer after being arrested, was the last nail in the coffin for Lieutenant Milazzo.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
Come the fuck on. Well, was she read her rights? Was she read her Miranda rights? That's the actual question. Was she? Because if she was read her Miranda rights and we didn't see that part, if she requests a lawyer, you gotta let her do that. But well, actually, I think it's the same. No, she had to have been under arrest because she was in handcuffs. Yeah. I mean, I think she was arrested after that whole entire ordeal, but I would imagine off camera she would have requested a lawyer and they'd have to give that to her. What was the question? I'm rambling here.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
You let them talk to a lawyer.
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
No. She's being detained. The answer is no.
Depends on the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay, tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
Come the fuck on. Yeah, what case would you allow that? I want to know the answer to that question.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights. Do you know what Miranda rights are? Every single person watching this video knows what Miranda rights are. Every single person. Okay? I am going to... In fact, just to prove a point, I will go to my sister's house. I will nab my nephew, bring him on here. I'm just going to, sit him right here. And he's just going to say, you have the right to remain silent. Everything you can say, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And he might even speak that way too, because he just turned 6 or 7 or whatever, and he's still learning to speak, but he's still kind of there, but kind of not. Have you ever arrested? How do you not know?
It is that allows people to demand a lawyer.
How do you not know what Miranda rights are?
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than...
No. She's the first one.
Berquist?
Wait a minute. I might have to go back to confirm this, but they've been censoring her entire last name,
Arrested
except
anybody?
right
No.
here.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
Oops.
No.
But that is pretty pathetic. So she's the very first one.
And you don't know the Miranda rights.
How do you not know
offhand,
the
no.
Miranda rights?
When you arrest somebody, do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you have to
Yeah,
advise them
that's
that they
the
have the right to
Miranda
an attorney?
rights.
Yes.
Do you have
Okay, so you know what the Miranda rights are. You just don't know that they were called the Miranda rights. That's still very, 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 very pathetic.
to advise them that
Either
if
that
they
or you're
cannot
just
afford
straight
an
up
attorney,
lying
one will
right
be
now.
provided to them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
This is so cringy.
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I
Oh my
imagine you only became a
God.
lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
2 years ago?
You've been a lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
Yes.
That is
the case-
absolutely fucking pathetic.
Remains open, but this is immaculate evidence proving how wrong the police officers were against Samantha. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one.
There's two videos right here. Look at that, it's like halfway full of water. Kind of in shock that cops exist like this. I'm in awe right now. My brain's kind of... What the fuck did I just watch? What? There's two videos right here. They probably weren't there before. They're there now. Okay. I'm just gonna go.